Be good. Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back. Manchester United versus Ipswich Town 3-2. My God, what a strange game this was. And Manchester United were able to flip it around and actually get the win, quite surprisingly, quite shockingly, despite them not having the best of game. Look, this game was just off. There was something really off about this game. Yeah, there was some good performances given that the game wasn't even that good. So is it in fact a good performance? Like Bruno Fernandes? Like where would you guys be without Bruno Fernandes? Like where would you be without Ahmad? You know, like I said about Ahmad a long time ago, like I think he's a good player, but if he was playing at a top team, he would be a sub. Ahmad would be, and he'd be a really good sub, sensational sub. So someone right now like with Bruno Fernandes that is playing this weird type of football that sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. But it's thanks to players like him that, Manchester United are not relegated. I'd even be bold enough to say that if you didn't have Bruno Fernandes or Amad Diallo, you'd be probably relegated at this point. You'd be fighting to stay in the Premier League. Xerxes, yeah, he looks like he would do well. Obviously, any of these players would do well if you have better players playing around you, but still not enough. I think he's one of those few players, though, out of the new players, the young players, that is able to be somewhat salvageable. If we're talking about him, Hoyland and Garnacho. Garnacho, man, like Garnacho needed to come out to sacrifice, a forward for the team since Dorgu got he got expelled. But yeah, it's not saying much. There is a good player in Xerxes, if he went somewhere else, right? But it's still just not enough. And I'm not talking about because he needs to be scoring goals, but just it does, and it's because yeah, I get it. This is not a good team. They're not going through. They're one of the best moments, and it's very difficult for any of them to come up on top. Especially if you've been there for a couple of months already. It starts to get to you. I get that it starts to affect you, but yeah, look, Maguire because he scored a goal. Lenny Yoro, and Delit were good. Lenny Yoro probably the best out of the three, only because he had less touches, I think. So he was less prone to looking like he was a little bit unstable. Whereas Maguire and Delit had more touches, and you could see sometimes, things didn't look that well for them. But yeah, despite that, I thought all three center backs did well. Ugarte, he just put in the work. He's not the greatest on the ball, but man, does he cover a lot of ground? Does he hustle? He hustles his butt off. Hoyland is one of those that he's probably the one that I can't say that many good things about, except that hey, he also kind of covers some ground. He tries to pester, he tries to bother. I mean, he was literally fighting, so you can't exactly blame him for being lazy. He's getting into it with O'Shea. So he has that. There's some fight in him. Purchases that Manchester United made when I heard that they were going to get this guy from Atalanta that barely played one season. He had what 9, 10 goals or something, like oh my god, and the season wasn't ending or something. I don't know. It's just smells of desperateness, from neediness from United. And then Dorgu, I thought Dorgu was having a good game until he got expelled. I don't know why people are saying that was Onana's fault for the first goal. I didn't think that was Onana's fault. That was all Dorgu. Dorgu should have shielded the ball. That was strictly Dorgu's fault. He should have shielded the ball 1-on-1, just shield the ball. Onana was coming out. He needed to come out. I thought that was smart of him to come out. We know how he plays. He's not a goalie that just stays there and, expects people to command him. He is a very commanding figure. He might not be the leader of Man United, but he is very, very confident in the back and doesn't need anyone to tell him what to do. At most, I would say like he should have yelled at the top of his lungs that he was going to get to the ball, and I think he did. But Dorgu, maybe there's a language barrier, or maybe he just didn't hear him, or maybe just Dorgu. I don't know. That colossal, awful touch from Dorgu didn't make sense either. If anything, he should have taken it to the byline, kicked it outside for a throw-in. He just complicated things way too much with that play. And then the second goal, yeah, that was Onana. I don't know why he was even yelling at whoever it was. I think that was marking Philogene. That was him. I know there was bodies and all that, but his reflexes, dude. As a keeper, you got to do much better than that. That should have been taken care of by Onana. And then Manchester United scoring their goal with the own goal, and Harry Maguire with nobody marking them. That was also bad from Ipswich. And Delit after 2 rebounds ends up getting it in. For a second, I thought that was going to be Hoyland, but it wasn't. And that's it. That's United. I am happy that they took out Garnacho in the beginning. I think he should have came out. I don't think it was Hoyland. Definitely not Xerxes. Out of 3 of them, Xerxes is the one that needs to stay. But Garnacho, All you do is just pass the ball back, and he wasn't having a bad game either. I think if Dorgu didn't get expelled, if he didn't get sent off, he definitely should have stayed. I had no problem with Garnacho getting saved. I mean, he got the free kick, right? So he did that, right? Which I don't know if that was an actual free kick, but it turned out to be a free kick anyway. But besides that, I didn't see much. There was a run in where Dorgu ended up taking a shot and Garnacho was trying to get a penalty. But after that, just typical Garnacho going back and just passing the ball back, going back and just passing the ball back. Never really trying to go up front or trying to take on because he can't take on anyone else. I would even try an experiment if I was United with Dallo, having him play as a left winger. Maybe, I don't know, just something crazy like that because I think he actually has more technique than Garnacho. He has more speed than Garnacho, and he has more of an idea, and he's just a lot more bold than Garnacho to try to take someone on and get the center. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.